Hello, my name is Andrew Cheng. Ever ponder why certain memories stand the test of time, whilst others fade away? This phenomenon is the result of encoding mechanisms at play. In this video today, we'll investigate the cognitive process of encoding, its pivotal role in learning and memory consolidation, and strategies to optimize encoding efficiency. We'll explore the types of encoding, its benefit, and tips for improving the encoding process. Let's dive into our first three topics. First, we are going to discuss the definition of encoding. Second, the type of encodings. And third, examples of each encoding. The definition of encoding is the process of converting information into a form that can be stored in memory. Second, the types of encoding. We have three types of encoding: visual encoding, acoustic encoding, and somatic encoding. Visual encoding is processing images and visual sensory information. Acoustic encoding is processing sounds, particularly the sound of words. And somatic encoding, the process of meaning of information. Some examples we have: visual encoding. Visual encoding could be you remember the layout of your favorite cafe, including where the tables and chairs are positioned and the artwork of the walls. You are using visual encoding. Acoustic encoding, when you remember the melody and lyrics of a song you heard on the radio, or the distinct tone of someone's voice. You are using acoustic encoding. Somatic encoding, when you remember the meaning of a word, empathy, because you associate it with a person, experience, or an important concept you learned about in psychology. You are using somatic encoding. Now, why is encoding important? Well, for starters, the cognitive and emotional benefits. They enhance the retention and retrieval of information. They facilitate effective learning and comprehension, and they too bolster critical thinking and problem-solving abilities. Furthermore, supporting statistics. Empirical research indicates that somatic encoding involves deep processing and is associated with superior long-term memory retention. Can you recall an instance when a specific encoding strategy significantly aided your memory? Now, moving on. Tips for building or developing your encoding skills. Some tips include employing mnemonic devices and elaborative rehearsals, as well as engage multiple sensory modalities during encoding, and relate novel information to pre-existing cognitive schemas. Analogy: compare encoding to a sophisticated filing system where well-organized and clearly labeled information is more accessible for retrieval. Here's a practical example. Visual encoding. If you're trying to remember a list of grocery items, you can use visual encoding by imagining a mental picture of each item. For example, picture a loaf of bread, a bunch of bananas, and a carton of milk. Visualize these items can help you remember them more effectively when you go shopping. As you've learned lots now about encoding, let's recap. We employed encoding, the process of converting information into memory, and its importance of learning and memory retention. We covered all three types of encoding: visual, acoustic, and somatic. We also discussed tips for enhancing encoding skills, such as using mnemonic devices and engaging multiple senses. Now, by optimizing your encoding strategies, you can create long-lasting cognitive connections and improve your ability to retain and recall information. Finally, encoding is not merely about storing information. It is about forging enduring cognitive connections, enhancing your encoding strategies, and unlocking a vast repository of knowledge.